They thought she was weak because she was quiet, but 1 week later, those same bullies were on their knees, begging her for forgiveness. What happened in just 7 days? This isn't just a story about revenge. It's a story about inner strength, silent pain, and the power of truth. Stay with me until the end, because by the time you hear what this quiet girl did, you'll never underestimate someone again. Nobody ever noticed her. Not really, and maybe that was the problem. At Westbrook High, Olivia Morgan was what you'd call invisible, not because she wanted to be, but because life had taught her that silence was safer than being seen. She walked the halls with her shoulders curled inward, her eyes downcast, her steps quiet like she was apologizing for existing. She wasn't ugly. She wasn't weird. She just didn't fit. Her clothes were simple, her voice soft, her backpack was torn at the seams, and sometimes her lunch consisted of only a bruised apple and a granola bar. She always sat in the back of class, never raised her hand, never spoke unless called on. But her eyes told a story no one ever asked to hear, until someone did, and that someone was a bully. It started on a Monday morning, cold and gray. Olivia was late. Her mom had spilled coffee on her only clean shirt, and they'd fought again, something about money, as always. She ran into school breathless, clutching her notebook to her chest as she slipped into homeroom. That's when Jessica Langley noticed her. Jessica, the popular one, rich, blonde, glitter nails, loud voice, the type of girl whose words could build you up or crush you like a bug. And Olivia, she was just another bug. Wow, did you sleep in a dumpster, or is that a new trend? Jessica mocked as Olivia sat down. The room erupted in laughter. Olivia's cheeks flushed, but she said nothing, not a word, and that silence, it made them go harder. Every day that week, Jessica and her little clique, Tyler, Mason, Brill, found a new way to make Olivia's life miserable. They tripped her in the hallway, laughed at her hand-me-down shoes, poured milk over her backpack, wrote, "mute freak," on her locker in Sharpie. And Olivia, she didn't cry, not once, but at home, she collapsed in her room and screamed into her pillow. No one at school knew her mother was a waitress working double shifts, or that Olivia herself took care of her younger brother, Dylan, every afternoon. No one knew she walked 4 miles to school because they couldn't afford a bus pass. They just saw a quiet girl, a silent target. And then came Friday. That's when they went too far. Jessica pulled out her phone during lunch, started live streaming to her followers. "Y'all meet Olivia. She's gonna show us how quiet people eat. Let's rate her meal. Oh wait, she barely has one." Brill reached over and dumped ketchup on Olivia's sandwich. Tyler grabbed her notebook and tossed it across the room. The crowd laughed. Phones were recording. Olivia just stood there frozen, humiliated in front of the entire cafeteria. That was the moment something snapped. Not outwardly, not a scream, not a punch, but inside Olivia's chest, something broke. She picked up her tray slowly, wiped off the ketchup, and walked out, head down, shoulders stiff. But her mind, it was already writing the first page of her comeback. The next Monday was oddly quiet. Olivia wasn't at school. Some whispered that she had transferred. Others assumed she dropped out. Jessica shrugged it off. Another win, another girl broken. But what Jessica didn't know was that Olivia hadn't disappeared. She had plans. By Wednesday, the first clue appeared. Someone uploaded the cafeteria video, yes, the one of Olivia being humiliated, to TikTok. But not as a joke. This one had a powerful caption. "This is what bullying looks like. Her name is Olivia, and she deserves better." The video went viral. Students at other schools started commenting. Influencers reposted it. Hashtags exploded. The Justice for Olivia Febbekind Fee Silence is Strength. But here's what made jaws drop. At the end of the video, there was a clip of Olivia, not crying, not defeated, but speaking to the camera, calm, poised, brave. "I'm not quiet because I'm weak. I'm quiet because I've learned that loud people often hide the most fear. But you don't get to decide my worth, and I will not let your cruelty define my voice." It hit like a truck. The next day, news vans were outside Westbrook High. Reporters wanted interviews. Teachers were in shock. Jessica, she tried to pretend nothing happened, until Thursday when the school announced a special assembly. Olivia was on stage, wearing the same torn shoes, the same thrift store jeans. But something about her was different. She stood tall, held a microphone, looked straight at the students who had laughed at her, and spoke. "I came to this school hoping to be invisible, because being seen has always meant being hurt. But last week I realized that silence doesn't protect you. Truth does." As she paused, looked directly at Jessica. You made me feel like nothing. But now, thanks to all of you, I found my voice and I'm going to use it. The crowd was silent. Even the principal wiped away a tear. By the end of the assembly, Jessica and her friends were cornered by the crowd, booed, criticized, called out by students, teachers, even parents. The school launched a bullying awareness campaign in Olivia's name, but the most unbelievable moment came on Friday. Exactly 1 week after the cafeteria incident, Jessica walked up to Olivia, eyes red, voice shaking. I'm sorry. Please, I didn't know it'd go this far. I never meant. Olivia looked at her. Calm. I forgive you. But that doesn't erase what you did. Jessica whispered, what can I do to make it right? Olivia simply said, change. For real this time. That weekend, Olivia was invited to speak on a national podcast. Her story became a headline on kindness, a viral reminder that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, and that whisper can change the world. Olivia didn't need revenge. She didn't need fists. She needed a voice. And once she found it, the world listened. So the next time you see someone quiet, someone alone, don't assume they're weak. They might be the strongest person in the room. And just like Olivia, they might be one moment away from changing everything.